Hello everyone, this is Vikrant Patel, Assistant Professor from BIET Jhansi. I welcome all the students in this lecture. This is a first lecture of Engineering Geology. In the fifth semester, there are two departmental electives. Under Departmental Elective 1, there are four optional subjects: Concrete Technology, Modern Construction Materials, Open Channel Flow, and Engineering Geology. Out of these four subjects, our department elected Engineering Geology as Departmental Elective 1. So I will be with you in this subject for the whole semester. So in this subject, there are 3 lectures in a week. There is no tutorial and practical. CT contains 30 marks. Teaching assessment contains 20 marks. So total sessional mark is 50. The theory examination will be of 100 marks. So you have to score out of 150 in this subject. The total credit is of 3. This is a syllabus of Engineering Geology. The whole subject is divided into 5 number of units. In Unit 1, we will discuss the introduction of geology, branches of geology which are useful to civil engineering, scope of geological studies in various civil engineering projects, different departments which deal with this subject in India, and also their scope of work, that is GSI means Geological Survey of India, Granite Dimension Stone Cell, NIRM, that is National Institute of Rock Mechanics. Then we will go for mineralogy. Under this we will discuss what is mineral, its origin and composition, physical properties of minerals, susceptibility of minerals to alteration, basic of optical mineralogy, SEM, XRD, different rock forming minerals, megascopic identification of common primary and secondary minerals. In unit number 2, we will focus on rocks. We will discuss here the origin of rock, their structure and texture, classification of igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic rocks, also their suitability as engineering materials, weathering and erosion of rocks, stratification, lamination bedding, outcrop and its relation to topography, what is dip and strike of bed, overlap, outlier and inlier, building stones and their engineering properties. In unit number 3, again we will see what is mineral, but here the discussion will be the detailed discussion. In unit number 1, we will see the introductory part of mineral, but in unit number 3 we will go for detailed discussion on minerals. So here again we will see what is physical properties of minerals, detailed study of certain rock forming minerals, alkali aggregate reaction, grouting, pozzolanic materials. In unit number 4, we will see rock deformations, that is folds, faults, joints and unconformities. These are the structure which are built due to rock deformation. So we will discuss their classification, causes and relation to engineering behavior of rock masses. Also we will see different natural hazard in this unit, that is landslide and earthquake. What is the causes of landslide and its preventive measures, the causes of earthquake, classification of earthquake, different seismic zones of India, and also its geological consideration. In the unit number 5, we will discuss the geophysical exploration and geological investigation. This geophysical exploration are done to find the subsurface structure, underground water, its origin, and also we will see what is aquifer, aquiculate, and artesian wells, and underground provinces and its role as geological hazards. And the geological investigations are done to find for the site selection for dam, reservoir, tunnel, bridge, and highway. These are the list of books that will help you in this subject. Finally, we come to introduction of geology. Geo means earth and logy means study. It means geology is the study of the earth. This geology deals with different aspects of the earth as a whole, such as what is the origin of the earth, how age of the earth can be determined, what is the interior structure of the earth, and what is the history of the earth. It also deals with evolution and modification of various surface features like rivers, mountains, and lakes along with their causes. It means it covers how surface features like rivers, mountains, and lakes were evaluated and how they modify themselves, and also what are their causes. The geology also covers different kind of materials with which our earth is made up of. For example, different kinds of minerals and different types of rocks. Since geology is a vast subject, so for the sake of systematic study, geology has been subdivided into following branches. These are the main branches of geology. These are allied branches of geology. Main branches are physical geology, mineralogy, petrology, structural geology, historical geology, that is also known as stratigraphy, paleontology, and economic geology. Allied branches are engineering geology, mining geology, geophysics, geohydrology, and geochemistry. Allied branches means related to, that you can understand the branches which are related to geology. For example, engineering geology means use of geology in engineering, mining geology, use of geology in mining. In similar way, you can understand geophysics, geohydrology, and geochemistry. So one by one we will discuss about each branches in upcoming slides. Physical geology. This is one of the main branch of geology. So as the name suggests, physical geology deals with physical features of the earth. For example, mountains, plateaus, valleys, rivers, lakes, glaciers, and volcanoes. It focuses on their origin and their development. Physical geology also covers different changes occurring on the earth's surface like marine transgression, marine recreation, formation or disappearance of rivers, springs, and lakes. Okay, that's why the physical geology also known as dynamic geology. Physical geology is also known as dynamic geology because it covers the dynamic nature of the physical features like rivers, springs, and lakes. Physical geology also deals with the geological work of wind, glacier, rivers, ocean, groundwater, and also their role in constantly molding the earth's surface features. Okay. Since this wind, glacier, rivers, these all having a dynamic nature, that's why in wind the movement of air taking place, glaciers movement of ice taking place, In rivers, there is a flow of water. So, due to the dynamic nature of these features, they constantly mold the earth surface features. Okay, this we will focus on physical geology. It also deals with different kind of natural phenomena like landslides, earthquakes, and weathering. So, as a civil engineer, our main aim is how this physical geology affect our civil engineering works. For example, weathering. Okay, the main cause for surface change is weathering, and as we know, this is one of the natural phenomena, and it occurs due to changes in the atmosphere. We will go for more discussion on weathering in our upcoming lectures. This weathering disintegrates and decomposes rocks, and due to weathering, color, appearance, strength, and durability of rocks are adversely affected. And we know rocks are used as a building material in different civil engineering projects. That's why, from civil engineering point of view, weathering is important. Civil engineers deal with structures like dams, which are artificial barrier to natural flow of river water. This is a dam which create barrier to the natural flow of river water. So, if we have proper understanding of the geological work of a river and its features that we cover in physical geology, then this knowledge can be better utilized for civil engineering applications. Next is mineralogy. Mineralogy deals with the study of minerals. What is mineral? Minerals are basic units with which different rocks and ores of the earth are made up of. For example, in a building, bricks, cement, sand, aggregate, steels are the basic units. In similar way, in rocks and ores, minerals are the basic unit. Rocks are formed by minerals. Mineralogy deals with the details of mode of formation of minerals, composition of minerals, occurrence types, association properties, and uses of minerals. Why mineralogy is important from civil engineering point of view? Because the properties of rocks depends upon the properties and composition of their constituent minerals. Next is petrology, which is one of the main branch of geology. Petro means rocks and logy means study. It means petrology deals with the study of rocks. We know the crust of the earth, which is also known as lithosphere, is made up of different types of rocks. Petrology deals with the mode of formation of rocks, structure, texture, composition, occurrence, and types of rocks. So why do we go for petrology? How it is important from civil engineering point of view? See, the composition and textural characters that we cover in petrology, and these property contribute to the inherent strength and durability of the rocks, and rocks based on their suitability can be used as foundation for dams, for tunneling, and also as materials of construction. That's why this branch petrology is important from civil engineering point of view. Structural geology. The rocks which form the earth's crust undergo various deformations, dislocations, and disturbances under the influence of tectonic forces. What is tectonic force? Suppose this is one rock, this is another rock. Due to natural hazard like earthquake, there is a movement in the rocks, and due to movement, these rocks collide each other and they induce forces. These forces are known as tectonic forces. Due to tectonic forces, there is a deformations, dislocations, and disturbances are created in the rocks. And these activities form different geological structures like folds, faults, joints, and unconformities in rocks. So basically, structural geology deals with the mode of formation of these geological structures, causes, its types, classification, and its importance. From the civil engineering point of view, structural geology is important because these geological structures, folds, faults, joints, and unconformities modify the inherent physical characters of rocks, and this modification may be favorable or unfavorable. Okay, based on that, it makes rocks suitable or unsuitable for civil engineering purposes. Next is historical geology, that is also known as stratigraphy. As we know, weathering causes disintegration and decomposition of rock, and due to disintegration or decomposition of rock, the rock is broken down into small pieces. These small pieces or rock fragments are known as sediment. And we know our earth's surface is uneven, and due to unevenness of earth's surface, it provides suitable condition for the deposition of these sediments. Okay, these sediments get deposited, and after its cementation or compaction, sedimentary rocks are formed. Here in this figure you can see here, these are different sediments which get deposited, and after its compaction or cementation, sedimentary rocks are formed. Therefore, there are sedimentary rocks on the earth representing the entire period of the earth's history. Proper investigation of these rocks reveal the chronological sequence of formation of rocks, evolution, migration, and extinction detail of different plant and animal life during the different periods of the earth's history. These sediments may be of plant and animal, that's why we can also find the details of these different plant and animal during the different periods by proper investigating these sedimentary rocks. In addition, the climatic and geographical changes, including tectonic events in the geological past, can also be known from these investigations. So, this kind of study of the Earth's history through the sedimentary rocks is called historical geology. Historical geology is also called stratigraphy. Stratigraphy, this word combines strata and graphy. Strata means a set of different layers, and graphy means description. Means stratigraphy is a description of a set of different layers. So it is called stratigraphy because this subject deals with details and description of sedimentary rock sequences. And what is sedimentary rock? Sedimentary rock is a set of different layers of cemented or compacted sediments. From civil engineering point of view, historical geology is important because by knowing the history of rock, we can comment on the strength of rock, because the older rocks are in general more stable and more competent due to more compaction and cementation. Further, study of stratigraphy can be utilized in predicting the underlying strata, which may be very important in some specific civil engineering constructions. For example, you have to install a foundation below any structure. So once you know the details about underlying strata, it will help you to find the type of foundation suitable for a given structure. whether you have to go for shallow foundation or deep foundation. This kind of decision you can make after predicting this underlying strata. Paleontology. If under favorable conditions animal or plant life gets embedded in sediments, it will be preserved partly or completely. Sometimes what happen, animals or plants, these get embedded within sediments, and due to natural process these animal life or plant life get preserved. Okay, such relics and remnants of ancient life preserved in rocks by natural processes are known as fossils. Relics means अवशेष, remnants is बचा हुआ टुकड़ा. So these relics and remnants of ancient life are known as fossils. Details of mode of formation of fossils, their types, occurrence, etc. form the subject matter of paleontology. It is not of much importance from the civil engineering point of view, but as fossils are rare and throw much light on the past history of the earth, a civil engineer should know some details regarding them so that he recognizes them as fossils. And whenever he comes across such finds during his work, he should report the matter to the person concerned for the necessary action. Next is economic geology. Minerals can be grouped as general rock forming minerals and economic minerals. The study of economic mineral is known as economic geology. Rock forming minerals are those minerals which form the rock. Some economic minerals like talc, graphite, mica, asbestos, gypsum, magnesite, barytes, diamond and gems are useful as such or as raw materials in different industries. There are some other minerals like hematite, chromite, galena and pyrolusite are used as ores for the extraction of various metals, the uses of which are very well known to us. The prosperity of a nation depends to a large extent on the rich reserves of economic mineral deposits it has. For example, Gulf countries are rich because of their oil deposits. South Africa is rich because of its gold and diamond deposits. The details of mode of formation of economic minerals, its occurrence, classification, association, varieties, concentration, properties, and uses form the subject matter of economic geology. This branch of geology is important from economic point of consideration, but it is not relevant for civil engineers for obvious reasons. So far we have discussed all the main branches of geology. In upcoming lecture we will discuss allied branches of geology. Thank you.